Yo, what's going on, fellas? It's your main man, Six Paths Jougan, coming back to you guys again with yet another reaction video. You know what's funny? Every time something goes wrong, whether it be someone dying, someone getting hurt, everybody looks towards the same person, Kashin Koji. Are you planning something? Are you staging something? Are you sacrificing somebody again? What's going on? Because you're at the forefront of this issue. And I mean, I would have Koji side more if he hasn't proven in the past to do just that. Sacrifice people for the sake of the future, stage events that could or could not hurt somebody else. I mean, he done all of it. So it's no surprise that when Sarada gets hurt in the latest chapter, the community is looking towards one person, and you know, we all know who that is. And I do have some things I want to say on the topic, because I mean, I do think Kashin Koji may be involved in this sort of situation, but I don't think there's any malicious intent with it, and I'm going to explain that in this video. So I think this is kind of an interesting topic for us to talk about today. So Sharkname, he's a really good Boruto content creator. I recommend you guys check him out. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel down below in the description. So go ahead and leave a like on this video, and you know, tell him we sent you. Whatever y'all want to do, show some love. That would be cool. And yeah, let's get into the video because I have a lot I want to talk about.
Chapter 32 is absolutely insane, and honestly, I think it's the best chapter ever. And yeah,
best
at least
chapter?
For the next few minutes,
Ooh.
There's something we need to talk about, and maybe some of us haven't noticed this. But before that, first and foremost, for the umpteenth time, our predictions about Code are truly hard to believe. I mean, out of all the scenarios we've predicted about how Code would appear, or whether Code would intervene in the middle of a situation we even thought was the perfect time for Code to show up, unfortunately, none of it matched our expectations. Because even though we initially suspect...
So, off the rip, right? We all know that Kashin Koji knows something, or something like unexpected is about to happen on top of this situation because of Koji's expression. In the last panel of chapter 32, you guys seen it. It's that look that Koji gives to us. It's like we know he's up to something. Every time he does it, he's gonna do something crazy. Last time he did it, he was trying to kill Lord Kobu. I mean, it's just that look, and he's doing it again. So there must be something that's coming, or something that Koji plans to do to, you know, either defeat Mamushi or whatever. And he just mentioned it in the video. It could be Code 2. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be happening all at once to cause Eida to get devoured, or, you know, whatever it is. So we actually can't say this suspicion of Koji came from nowhere, when that's just not true. He's up to something sketchy. And you know, chapter 33 is gonna be another little loophole again. It's gonna be another big surprise.
The reality is we can't really underestimate Mamushi. And of course, should we be disappointed that the Code didn't appear in this chapter? It doesn't seem like we should be, because after all, this chapter was truly very exciting, especially, as I just mentioned, Mamushi, whom we thought would lose easily, and who was even destroyed by Daemon in the early panels in significant numbers, ended up with a plot twist we truly never saw coming.
And the thing about Mamushi is, he's still not the powerhouse that a lot of people thought he was going to be, but he's found another way to be just as dangerous, just as threatening as someone like Jura. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but I say that to say, because he's after one of the most important characters in the story, and he's doing what he's doing in the latest chapter, he's became one of the most dangerous Shinju. I mean, although he's not a complete powerhouse like the likes of Jura or whatever, he's literally just like a bug infestation. You kill one, 10 more pop up. You can't get rid of all of them. And that's where his danger lies. But that's also his weakness. I'm gonna make a video on Mamushi's weaknesses and all that, and how I think Konoha can exploit his weakness to defeat him. That's gonna be a video I wanna make, so I'm not really gonna dive into all that today. But I will say, like, that is Mamushi's superpower. That's what makes him dangerous. It's the fact that he can divide almost an infinite amount of times. Like, I'm pretty sure they can take care of 10 Mamushis, no problem. I mean, probably Himawari can solo 10 Mamushis by herself. But where it gets dangerous is when you have over 1,000 of these clones with the same power level as the original. Or I guess in this case, they would all be the original. But you guys get what I'm trying to say. Then it becomes a problem. So that's where Mamushi gets his strength from. Individually, he's not as imposing as a threat than, you know, Hidari or Jura, any of the other Shinju, but there's strength in numbers. And that's where you gotta kind of understand Mamushi's character. He was literally built to be annoying, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are annoyed with him right now.
Only about 50 remaining, which should have been wiped out in a single final attack. He instead ended up splitting into more and more bodies until reaching 1,000. And crazily, that number kept rising. And my honest reaction to this panel, do you think this is like Mamushi's plot armor? And most importantly, did Koji know this was going to happen? And on the other hand, did Boruto saving Kobu, who according to Koji was supposed to die, cause a shift or even make the future branch out further? So to answer some of these questions, maybe we should start with Sarada. Because after all, I think Sarada is the crucial point in the final phase that determines the outcome of this Mamushi invasion, right? After we previously saw how Sarada used Ohirume in the middle of Konoha village to destroy Mamushi, who was trying to harm the villagers, Sarada appeared quite exhausted afterward, and her vision became blurry. And even if we look at these two panels as well, these are panels after Sarada used her MS, and also the final panel in chapter 31. The Sarada we see appears to lose focus with her vision looking blurry or even almost blind, yet in the final panel she actually looks completely fine. Whether this is a coincidence or a drawing error, it certainly piques our curiosity. And has Sarada actually mastered some recovery techniques or jutsu?
Nah, definitely not. I mean, there's nothing to really say about this panel specifically other than just like the passage of time. Sarada has regained her vision because, I mean, her using the MS, she did not go blind. Her vision just got blurry for a second. She just got a little faint. So the blindness was never going to last. I mean, she wasn't blind. I mean, not say blindness, but the blurry vision was never going to last. That was just Ikimoto showing us that it's already starting to happen. That's something we should take attention to. That she is going to go blind. She doesn't have any type of special MS that doesn't allow her to go blind. She can still go blind, and in the future, that's something she's gonna have to address, probably after this arc. I may be like undermining it a bit, but it's not really a thing just to wipe away the blood, keep going, refocus, kind of like. I don't know, but let me see what type of connection he's trying to make, because maybe I'm just the one that's lost.
Because the first time Sarada used her MS ability in the middle of the desert to destroy Ryu, she ended up completely unconscious with her eyes bleeding. And of course, if we compare these two panels again, I think the explosive power or even the output is the same, right? It's just that the end results are quite different. And perhaps the point here is that there are many aspects or even characters worth suspecting. And one of those people is, of course, Kashin Koji.
I mean, okay, I thought he was going to talk about the desert thing a little bit more, but I guess not. Or maybe he is. Maybe I'm just like not watching it enough, but I'm going to just like address that right now before I forget. But when Sarada was in Sunagakure and she performed Ohirume, the reason why she passed out wasn't because she developed any type of like healing techniques. It wasn't because she adapted to its power. I mean, it still drains the hell out of you. But it's simply the fact that prior to that, Sarada has already expended a lot of chakra. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys all read that arc. You guys all read the Sunagakure arc. Prior to Sarada using Ohirume, she busted out Chidori one time, and then she used 2 fire style techniques. I mean, to put it bluntly, she was out there expending chakra on her own. And using Ohirume on top of like the chakra you already expended, you'll probably pass out. Now in this arc, I don't think she used any of the sort. In chapter 31, that was the first time of us seeing Sarada defeat some of the Mamushi clones. That was the first time she used any type of chakra that day, or at least from what we've seen. So I think that right there is the biggest attribute as to why she did not fall unconscious. And I did talk about that before. I thought about it and I was like, wait, maybe Sarada did get used to Ohirume. But then looking back at the chapters prior when she used it for the first time, it's like, oh, I just can't ignore this. I can't ignore her using Chidori and the Sharingan at the same time when we know that expends chakra. And then she used fire style techniques twice. Maybe she used it more than twice. I don't remember, but I think it was twice. So yeah, she was out there using techniques. She was out there fighting. You know what I mean? And I just can't turn a blind eye when it comes to that. So yeah, I think that's the reason she didn't pass out.
Even though we know this chapter confirms that Inojin cut off his connection to some team members, which prevented Shikamaru from learning that Sarada had already activated her MS, does that mean this was part of Kashin Koji's plan? Or was it actually beyond Kashin Koji's control? And after thinking it through, plus trying to find the most plausible answer in this case, It's actually quite complex. In other words, the biggest factor in the failure to end Mamushi's invasion in Chapter 32 was purely a technical error caused by miscommunication, resulting from Kashin Koji's plan to cut off communication so Inojin could transfer into Kobu's body to save Shikamaru. Is that right? But unfortunately, Koji, who assumed that killing Kobu would be a quick resolution, ended up in a complicated situation after Inojin refused to sacrifice Kobu just to maintain Shikamaru's position as Hokage. Or more precisely, considering moral and ethical considerations, Inojin was forced to reject Koji's plan.
Yes, and that's the weakness behind prescience, right? So if Koji planned to disconnect everybody from Inojin's communication just to get rid of Koji real quick, and then come back on before Sarada used Ohirume, that's one thing. But you always have to take into account that not everyone's gonna be down to do what you do. Not everyone's gonna be down to just follow you blindly, no matter what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it. And Inojin's the prime example of this. Now, I'm pretty sure Koji didn't account for Inojin to be so rebellious, and he probably wasted some time. You know, he wasted enough time and dragged out that situation to where Sarada had to use Ohirume. But now, here's something you also have to think about. If Kashin Koji knew that this would be a situation where Sarada used Ohirume once already, and when the second time to use it came around, she was just a no-show, he should have told Shikamaru to tell Sarada not to use Ohirume until instructed. So that leads me to believe that Koji didn't know that Sarada was going to do that. Maybe the future changed because of something that happened, or maybe like I just said, maybe Inojin changed the future to where him taking so long to kill Kobu kind of forced Sarada to be in that situation. Because remember, Sarada used Ohirume while they was disconnected. Shikamaru did not know that she used it one time that day already. So yeah, that's kind of like the weakness that Koji has to go through. He can't do everything by himself, so he has to rely on others. And others may not be well equipped to handle his type of commands, wishes, whatever you want to call it. And if you wanted somebody to do that, Inojin was not your guy. He was always going to deny that. He was never going to go through with killing Kobu. That was never going to happen.
What if Koji actually lost his options, or more accurately, he lost his chance and ended up with nothing? And simply put, what if Koji knew that he failed to kill Kobu, so instead Sarada would have to be sacrificed? Or perhaps he didn't even know that at all? I know this might still be hard to grasp easily.
Maybe.
Let me explain it one more time. In the mission in Chapter 31, when Koji wanted Kobu to die,
that would mean he got more
Inojin
visions.
Should have immediately released his technique and let Kobu die, instead dragged things out longer and longer. As a result, the communication that should have been reestablished quickly ended up taking longer, causing some crucial information to be missed, right? Kobu didn't end up dying, and some important information like Sarada's was missed. At this point, Koji had lost the opportunity or advantage to kill Kobu. Ultimately, the initial plan, which was supposed to save Shikamaru's position, ended up being nothing more than a temporary delay.
So what you're telling me is that this whole thing is Inojin's fault? Let's all just blame Inojin because that's the easiest thing to do. I'm not being sarcastic, by the way. Like, I'm okay with blaming Inojin. Yeah, that is his fault. For not following instructions, that's your fault, Inojin. I'm not gonna lie. You see what you forced Kobu to do? See how you can just mess up the future by playing games? At this rate, if people are gonna keep rebelling against Koji, Koji should just lay out his plan entirely and have everyone agree or disagree to do whatever it is he needs them to do to avoid the situation. I understand the thing about not letting people know about the future, which can change the future, but in this situation where you're working with a bunch of stubborn kids, you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to come together, come up with a plan, have everyone agree to that plan, so there's no confusion when Koji is asking you to do something. Or nobody's surprised when something happens, like Boruto didn't know that Yoda was going to die. I mean, come on. It's the easiest solution, but, you know, Koji's probably not going to do that.
Try to imagine, what if Koji himself had forcibly taken control of Inojin's influence over Kobu's consciousness earlier? Because, as you can see, I truly never expected that if Koji had full control over Inojin's technique, if, from the very beginning, Koji hadn't gone to all that trouble and just let Inojin be stubborn, Kobu's death could have been shorter, restoring team communication and ensuring Koji didn't lose any advantage or anything like that in the next mission, right? And at least these two things can be fully considered factors in the failure of this
But
mission.
I don't think Koji knew
Even
that
though
would
some of you
happen
might think
until
this isn't
it's
a complete
happening.
failure,
You know what I mean?
At least with the increasing number of Mamushi combined with Sarada's critical condition, that's enough for us to consider it a failure. right? First, Koji. I don't know what he was thinking up to this point, but if Koji hadn't delayed or had even forcibly used the release technique on Inojin to get to Kobu, communication should have been established quickly and some information wouldn't have been missed. Second, I know this might be a bit controversial or something, but honestly, I'm not a Sarada hater, meaning we can attribute this factor to Sarada's own negligence. In other words, she can't control herself and doesn't know her body's limits, especially regarding the use of Ohirume. Let's say if she hadn't been so overconfident and realized she'd already used that ability before, there might have been a much more reasonable plan while waiting for Sarada to fully recover.
And I did talk about this too. I'm gonna just say this is because Sarada doesn't really understand her new power all that well. Well, she understands how to use it, how it works and all that, how it can be used different ways, how to activate it, but she doesn't know the extent of the toll it can have on your body. And that's obviously because nobody's around to teach her how the MS could really destroy your body. Like, it happened to most Uchihas in the past. Most MS users, you overuse it, you'll go blind faster. Like, I'm pretty sure Sarada knows about the MS and the risk it bears, but it's like her unique ability is more of an outlier. Ohirume takes a crazy amount of chakra. I would say that kind of puts her at a disadvantage when it comes to that. And because of that, she can't just be spamming it. And no, I don't want to hear in the comment section she understands it. She doesn't understand. Because if she really understood, she would know that using Ohirume twice in one day could kill her. It could kill her. We learned very early on in the series, like part 1 Naruto, when Kakashi was training Sasuke, he said, look, your limit is 2 blows. If you try to go past your limit and do 3 or more Chidori, first off, it wouldn't work. And then the attempt would just drain your chakra completely and you die. You die. So it's not smart to force a jutsu knowing you don't have enough chakra. And it's safe to say that Sarada did it right here. Now, do I think she will die? She won't. She's not going to die, but she is in critical condition right now. And that's what I'm saying. The situation is worse than everybody thinks. So she doesn't understand her power. She understands how to use it, and she probably understands the basics when it comes to the Mangekyo Sharingan, like it can lead to blindness, but she doesn't understand her situation in particular.
And as a final conclusion, Chapter 32 isn't just about a massive battle or the number of Mamushi suddenly reaching over 1,000. It goes deeper than that. It's about small mistakes leading to major consequences. Because we look at the big picture, the failure to stop the Mamushi invasion in this chapter isn't entirely because the enemy was too strong, but more due to a series of decisions that didn't go according to plan.
Right.
First, from Kashin Koji's perspective. He might have seen many possible futures, but that doesn't mean everything he planned would go perfectly. In fact, here we see that one small moment when he didn't immediately take control from Inojin led to a massive domino effect. Communication was cut off for longer, crucial information was missed, and ultimately the strategy fell apart. Second, from Sarada Uchiha's perspective. This isn't about her being weak, but more about timing and control. Forcing the use of MS and Ohirume without considering her own physical condition backfired. On one hand, she managed to save many people, but on the other, she also left a huge opening at a crucial moment. And most interestingly, all of this happened just as Boruto Uzumaki made a decision that went against the original plan, saving Kobu.
Yeah.
A decision that is morally right, but strategically, it could actually trigger an even more chaotic future.
So, I mean, it'd be unfair for me to say it was Inojin's fault entirely. Boruto did also play a key factor in that. I mean, saving Kobu from this fire style attack right here. But at the end of the day, I'm still right about what I think Koji should do to combat that. I mean, he knew Boruto wasn't going to allow Inojin to go through that. He wasn't going to allow Mamushi to kill Kobu, none of that. So it was kind of like their fault. Koji is fighting an internal battle between Boruto and Inojin. And right now he's losing. You know, and obviously this situation right here, it affected the future. So it's like now Koji is fighting against those two. So Boruto has a battle against Mamushi, and then he's also fighting a battle against Kashin Koji. So now you gotta look at the current situation, right? Because that situation went how it did, you know, now the plan is done. Mamushi has cloned himself over 1,000 times. What is Koji's plan now? I suspect Koji's plan is to possibly manipulate Boruto into letting Momoshiki run havoc. So let me just clear up what I'm talking about, right? So what I mean by manipulating him to allow Momoshiki to run havoc, I'm talking about emotionally. Manipulate Boruto emotionally. Have Sarada be in this critical condition because Koji knows how Boruto feels about Sarada. Not romantically, but more so of her being a manifestation of Sasuke's trust as a master, his trust in Boruto. I mean, we all remember how Sasuke told Boruto to look after Sarada, and Sarada is the only reason that Sasuke came to help Boruto. Sasuke did all that for his daughter. Sasuke cares about his daughter deeply, and Boruto cares about Sasuke. So those emotions are deeply embedded into Boruto's psyche. He's not going to be able to think straight until Sarada is 100% safe. So putting Sarada in this situation, putting her in a critical condition, and forcing Boruto to kind of act on the fly, it can spur up his emotions, and it could get to the point where it's like, okay, he knows Momoshiki isn't going to do anything to, how do I say, sabotage their deal. So he's not going to go ahead and just destroy his friends and family. He's going to work with Boruto to eliminate Mamushi and save Eida. So Koji could see that and be like, you know what? I'm going to spur up Boruto's emotions. So he's more likely to just say, Momoshiki, go take care of Mamushi because I can't think straight right now. Or it's like, I don't care about anything else. Just save Sarada. Just save my little sister. He's purposely putting Boruto in this high pressured situation, hoping he would make a mistake and let Momoshiki take over his body momentarily to defeat all of these Mamushi clones. That could be one possible scenario. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Also, let me know what other plans you think Koji has as it pertains to dealing with these Mamushi clones. I mean, I know there's a lot out there, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section.
Shikamaru's problem with Kobu has merely been postponed. So is this a failure? Yes. At least for now, we can consider this a partial failure, because the enemy isn't just undefeated, it's actually become far more dangerous.
Yeah.
And at this point, the biggest question is no longer who will win, but is everything that's happening truly beyond Koji's predictions? Or is this actually a future path he deliberately allowed to unfold? Because if the answer is the latter,
what do y'all think?
In the worst case scenario, someone will have to be sacrificed. And now that choice might be getting closer. But who is it? I think you can guess. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video,
who is it? Who is it? Honestly, if I was to say someone is going to get sacrificed, I don't think it would be Sarada. I just think that Sarada is too important for what Koji plans to have going on in the future. So it would have to be someone that's a little bit more or a little less important. You know what I mean? And if someone was to get sacrificed, we wouldn't see who it would be until next chapter, until we see how Shikamaru and everybody else is going to deal with Sarada going unconscious. Does he know that Konohamaru's going to try and look after Sarada and protect her, and then that's how he gets his life sacrificed? Would he try to sacrifice Chocho, Shikadai? I mean, that would be crazy to sacrifice Shikamaru's son. That'd be crazy, but you know, it could be any of that. It could be any of that. I don't think it would be Himawari because she's too important. Of course, not Boruto, not Kawaki. I mean, he's unconscious right now. I mean, it could be anybody but those people I just mentioned. Maybe it would be Mitsuki. Who knows? Maybe Delta. I don't know. Okay, so that was a good video by Shakuname. I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed that video. Really insightful. All I gotta say to that is, like, what do you guys think Kashin Koji is planning? And how did Inojin not killing Kobu affect the future to this point? Like, that's something to really think about going into this next chapter. How did Boruto and Inojin mess up the future? And how is it gonna affect what happens to Sarada and how this arc plays out in the end? But anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video here. So, as always, we're gonna show some love. Shakuname, I'm gonna leave his channel down below in the description, so make sure you guys go check him out. And without further ado, if you guys like this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until next time, I'm gonna see you boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.